Hi guys, and welcome to this week's SHEDucation video where we're going to talk to you about touching your toes. This is one of the questions within our wellbeing score, so if you haven't done it already, check it out on our website. Why is touching your toes important? Well, touching your toes is a demonstration of your lower back, hip and hamstring flexibility. Being able to touch your toes demonstrates you've got good flexibility and mobility across these joints and muscles. And here's Jack now to show you what touching your toes will look like. So as he bends down, we can see he's getting a nice movement from his hips, his lower back is flexing and his hamstrings aren't restricting him. What we get with a lot of people is that restriction in the hamstrings, they can't touch their toes. And with modern life at the moment, where we're all sat at home working from our offices, we're not getting up and moving about often. So this could be a movement that we often struggle with. So if you want to improve your ability to touch your toes, here are 3 simple drills to help you do that. So the first one that Jack's going to demonstrate is some forward leg swings. So all he's going to do is kick his leg forward and touch his toes. This is going to be a nice stretch out of the hamstring. Try not to be too explosive with this one. You don't want to overstretch yourself. The next one is a walkout. That's what Jack is going to do. Raise his arms above his head, swing them down by his legs, walk them along the floor. Again, really stretching out those hamstrings and then walk himself back up. Okay? The final one is a reverse lunge. Now, this is a great hamstring activation exercise. So all he's simply going to do here is just lunge backwards. Make sure when you do this, you get a nice 90-degree angle at the front knee and the back knee. Again, you don't want to overstretch yourself. These 3 little exercises will help to improve that flexibility and mobility of your lower back and hamstrings. But this will only be a short-term fix. If you want to make a lasting change and increase that muscle length, you want to try some eccentric exercises. Just doing 6 weeks or so with some eccentric work can really help to increase that muscle length. So some tips for this would be things like Romanian deadlifts or little hamstring slides. So for a Romanian deadlift, what Jack's got here is a little power bag. He's got his feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, a little bend in his knees, and he's just going to try and slide that bag down his shins. As he's doing that, he's kicking out his bum. So as he gets further down, he'll feel a nice kind of strain across the hamstrings, and that's what we want. We'll stand back up and then repeat this down. A simple exercise like this will really help to improve that muscle length, but also strength at the hamstring. Additionally, there's 3 more tips for you to help to improve your mobility. The first one is just get active. Our lives now are more based around our offices at home, but try and get active in the day. Try and hit your 10,000 steps per day and 1,300 MEPs per month if you've got a MyZone belt. The second tip is check your driving position, check your seating position at home. You don't want to be sat too far away from your steering wheel in your car or too far away from your desk at home. You don't want to put any added stress on your hamstrings. This is particularly important if you've got a car with a seat almost like a bucket. Try and raise that seat up so it's a little bit more level. The final tip is nice and simply warm up and cool down. Something we don't often do. First thing we lose in a training session, but probably the most important thing. As mentioned at the start, touching your toes is one of the questions within our wellbeing score. If you haven't already done it, check out the wellbeing score on our website and see how well you perform across all 20 questions. We'll see you next week for our next SHEDucation video. Goodbye. Say goodbye now.